And right now, as everyone is realizing what the Israeli state is doing, a genocide, it is necessary to take the proper action. And we're going to stay and continue to remind them of their responsibility, to remind them that they cannot just shut that out.
Palestine will be free. So like many others escalating their protests as Israel continues to escalate its attacks on Gaza, students at Cambridge University have escalated their protests against what they say is their university's involvement and complicity in Israel's actions and genocide in Gaza. Their demands are for the university and colleges to divest funds immediately from arms manufacturers and Israeli companies. Recently, King's College, which is one of the university's largest colleges, decided to divest from the arms industry and companies complicit in the occupation of Ukraine and Palestinian territories, following months of student protests. So we came to the university to speak to students who relaunched this encampment and to speak to members of the local community about how they feel about these protests.
Yeah, so we were just camping until this morning in front of Trinity College, who invests in Elbit Systems, millions in Elbit Systems, and they've kicked us out with a possession order, and so we moved to John's, who also invests in Elbit and BAE Systems, about 3.2 million. And we're here because Kings have shown that divestment, college divestment, is possible, and we implore every college, and in fact expect every college to take a stance and do what's right and divest themselves. We demand that they do all in their power to stop the genocide of the Palestinians. But the only language these colleges know is that of repression, of legality, and they don't know what responsibility means. And they're too mediocre to understand that what we demand of them is not a legal but a political response. It's not a legal question, it's a political one. And they don't recognize that they are political institutions, although they are able to understand that they used to be strong political institutions in the past when they recognized their involvement in slavery and how much they've gained from that project. What we demand is that they can either own up to the fact that they do not care for the lives of Palestinians in Gaza and over the world, or that they understand that they are a world-leading institution that has the ability to put public pressure on the Israeli state.
My understanding is that anybody who's aware of the genocide, anybody who understands the International Criminal Court orders for the arrest of Netanyahu, should understand that there's a risk of complicity and being an ancillary to genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, which are the most serious crimes that we have. They're on the UK statute books, the UK International Criminal Court Act 2001. That's the Rome statutes that are codified into UK law, section 52. So anybody who's worried that there is a genocide or war crimes being committed needs to look that up and really think about that and act not just with their conscience but with even self-preservation in mind, I would say.
Yeah, so there are a few things that prompted the relaunch. First, as you said, the escalation was very important. We also what happened in the north of Gaza in the bombing of the school. And of course, we are seeing the ground occupation of Gaza coming and happening, and the project being more and more concrete, the invasion project being more and more concrete, the genocidal project being more and more concrete. And I think even liberal institutions around the world are starting to recognize for the project for what it is, for what we said it was already last year. But none of them have done anything except King's. And King's has opened the way, has set an example, and shown that everything that had been said, that like it's not possible, charity law makes it impossible, they have shown that actually no, it is very much in fact possible. And right now, as everyone is realizing what the Israeli state is doing, a genocide, it is necessary to take the proper action.
What's the response been from the colleges so far?
The colleges have not basically talked to us. They're not interested in what we have to say to them. They do not feel concerned. They do not, as I said, understand the political implications of their actions. They're just interested in their money. They're just interested in the status quo.
Trinity College told Middle East Eye that it has served an injunction on an encampment set up in front of the college in order to enable its students to study and take exams without disturbance and staff to carry out their work. The college is fully committed to supporting the right to protest and to freedom of speech within the law.
They can try to silence us, and Israel can try to bomb every square inch of Gaza. There will always be a Gazawi left to exist and to resist colonial occupation. Our institutions can decide to injunct every square inch of the UK, and we will always be there to stand in solidarity with the Palestinians. So demands are what they always have been, which is to disclose, to divest, to protect, and to reinvest, right? To disclose what their investments in are, specifically from the university, because we've never heard what the university invests in. To divest, in fact, that is one of the main demands for all the colleges and for the Central University. They need to get rid of these investments. They need to get rid of their involvement in the genocidal project. To protect the students mean, and their staff actually, means also protecting their extended families. That means, because what is happening right now is that Israel is bombing the families of students and staff, and their duty to the students is to protect and to do what is in their power, what in the university's power, to protect the students and their well-being. And not being able to return home is a grave infraction of their well-being. And finally, to reinvest into rebuilding universities, but not in the way that Trump and Israel envision, of course, but through communication with the Gaza Emergency Committee, and because these new institutions, rebuilding these new institutions, will mean needing strong international cooperation, strong international support.
Well, first of all, they're not listening to their students. Yeah, they've had a long time to digest the very simple message of please stop investing in weapons and arms manufacturing, full stop. Globally, never mind Israel.
Yeah.
That's a very, very simple message, and you would think that an educational establishment of such world renown standing would want to do that, just as a simple matter of principle. There's many, many other things to invest in the world, isn't there? And so to close down that peaceful message of students seems like repression to me.
Yeah.
And it seems like they've gone over the top.
Yeah.
And it's inconsistent with the actions or the intentions of King's College to divest.